Hey there, Matt from 2A Cops. I am out here today at Double Tap Range in Boise, and I've got a gun that I have been looking forward to getting my hands onto since I first saw it about 2 months before it was released. Canik rep came in, Boise Black Rifle, and had a couple of these. This is the new Canik Mete, which I had to look up how to pronounce that on Canik's website. They tell you how to pronounce it. It's Mete. MC9LS. So the MC9 is not new. The original MC9 had a smaller grip and compared to this is an LS. Compared to this gun, it had a slightly shorter slide and barrel. The L gives it a bigger grip, same original length slide and barrel, and then the LS gives you about a ½ inch longer slide and barrel compared to the other ones. If you're looking for a light for your MC9 or MC9LS or L, TLR7 subs 1913 works perfectly. You do have to change out the little spacer plate in there to make it fit. But another thing I really like about this gun, and I haven't shot this yet, so this is all just me playing with it in the store. Their optic mounting system, the 2 screws that go through your optic. By the way, the optic footprint is standard RMSC. Does not have the locating bumps, dowels. What it does have is where the 2 screws go in, it has a raised shoulder where those screws go in, and that raised shoulder fits exactly inside the screw holes on your optic. They use a slightly smaller screw, but those raised shoulders keep your optic located. Also, what they did is where those screws go down, it's threaded very long distance into the slide. So you do get a ton of bite with the screws when you put them in here. Optic fit in the slide itself is also very tight, and it's very deep. It sits down very low on the slide. I can, without any issues, use these iron sights through that optic. Oh, let's get these out of the way. So I mentioned the Hellcat Pro has been my carry for 2 years at least. This is the same size. It's slightly heavier than the Hellcat Pro. This is only slightly thicker, and I just noticed that. It's actually got a flared magwell. So it's got that going for it. Unlike either of these other 2 guns, it's actually got an ambi slide release. The 365 and the Hellcat Pro do not. Very easy to operate slide release. It has a trigger safety, just like all Glocks, just like the Hellcat Pro does. The 365 does not. It is a single-sided mag release, just like these other 2 guns, and it can be flipped for lefties, just like these other 2 guns. So all of them are the same in that respect. Takedown is no different than it is on a Glock. Or, let's talk about this. So Canik's, people refer to them as the Turkish Glock. That is absolutely incorrect. What they should be calling it is the Turkish Walther. Canik, their early guns and all the way up until current production, all of their guns are a very, very minorly modified Walther action. You can take the slide off of a Walther PDP, put it on a current Canik, and the 2 guns will operate. You can switch slides and barrels between the guns and they will function. So what this is a downsized Walther PPQ, something Walther hasn't done. Let's take this gun apart real quick. So everything in here looks exactly like a Walther PDP, which I own 4 of, so I'm fairly familiar with them. The trigger mechanism is all identical. It's just downsized to make the gun narrower. Unlike Glocks, the slide does not come all the way off the front. You're gonna have to put it on about there, slide it back, and then it's locked in. So when you take it off, you only bring it forward about a ½ inch, then it'll lift off the frame. So there's that. The one huge advantage that I think this gun has over, especially over my Hellcat Pro, I think so over the 365 as well, is going to be the trigger. This is going to be a typical Walther trigger. It does have a little bit more initial take-up, tiny carry gun. I don't have a problem with that. This is not a competition gun. I don't need super short trigger pull. But what it does have, so it's got quite a bit of take-up there. What is that, a ½ inch or better? But then I hit that wall, and it's a very distinct wall. I mean, I can find it without even trying, or without even thinking about it. I hit the wall, and then from there, very minimal over travel, fairly crisp brake. I mean, it's not a Geisley trigger. It doesn't have that very glass-like brake. So it's got a, what do we got here? Got a little bit of creep, and then a clean brake, and a little bit of over travel. For a small little carry gun, it's a phenomenal trigger. Oh, and I did not adjust reset. So here's the reset on this thing. Comes out, what was that? 2 millimeters, and then I'm right at that wall again, and then that same trigger pull. And I would hazard a guess that this trigger pull, I didn't bring my trigger pull gauge with me, unfortunately. I'd hazard a guess that this is gonna be right around 5 pounds on the trigger pull, on the brake, once you hit that wall. So, from everything that I have seen with this gun on the bench, in the store, at my house, just dry firing it, I'm really looking forward to shooting this thing. If it shoots as well as I think it will, this is gonna replace my Hellcat Pro as my daily carry gun. But again, back to the topic of this video, this Canik MC9LS. I am looking forward to shooting this thing. So, let me load up some mags, get my ears and eyes on, and start shooting. So in preparation for this range day here, I needed a holster. I was planning on carrying this gun if everything functioned out well. And the Mete MC9LS with the longer slide will not fit in a standard MC9 or MC9L holster because of the slide length. And especially talking about holsters that are set up for a light. So the holster that comes with this gun is not set up for a light. Throw this out there real quick. This gun is empty, so nobody freaks out. Got a hold of Ben and Eddie over at Havoc Holsters. They are located in Nampa, Idaho. All my current carry holsters. This is my Hellcat Pro holster. This is a Havoc holster. All my carry holsters right now have been Havocs. I've been very happy with their holsters. They did not have, nobody, to my knowledge, has got a holster for the MC9LS. So I went over to them. They knocked this holster out for me. They checked it against their molds. They now have what they need to know for the MC9LS. So if you happen to have one of these and you're looking for a holster, Havoc Holsters can build one for you. Very big fan of theirs. I really want to thank them for getting this holster for me, because here in about 10 minutes, this is going to become my carry gun. So I now have a perfect holster. You can hear it click. Very secure. Gun ain't falling out. Very comfortable to wear holster. So thank you, Ben and Eddie. All right, before we get to shooting, I need to thank my sponsors, channel sponsors. This video's actually got 3. First off is going to be Boise Black Rifle. They have provided some of the ammo for this. They help me out when I'm trying to get a hold of guns. I work there. Big thanks to Boise Black Rifle. I would also like to thank US Law Shield for sponsoring this channel. Every video on this channel is sponsored by US Law Shield. US Law Shield is not technically insurance. It is a prepaid legal service. Different states review it differently. Where I live in Idaho, it's prepaid legal service. If you're carrying a gun for self-defense, you really should have some sort of insurance. You should have some sort of legal service that is available to you if, God forbid, you ever have to use your gun to save your life. They are available. They have attorneys available answering the phone 24 hours a day. So unlike lots of other similar companies, US Law Shield actually covers on-duty law enforcement as well. So even if you have a union that provides you an attorney, it can't hurt to have double coverage. It's inexpensive. They cover you. US Law Shield, huge fan of theirs. And my third sponsor for this video is going to be Ben and Eddie over at Havoc Holsters in Nampa, Idaho. Great guys, great products, good customer service. Don't have a single negative thing to say about those guys. For that matter, we actually sell their holsters at Boise Black Rifle. We like them so much. So, Havoc Holsters, big thanks to them. Boise Black Rifle, big thanks to them. And big thanks to US Law Shield. All right, let's get to shooting. I'm here at the 15-yard line. I've got some, got a paper target down there, got a couple steel targets. Initially, I'm just going to shoot this thing to see how it feels. After that, I will zero the optic on paper, and then we'll just see how this thing goes. Gun is empty. Load a mag. And let's see how this thing shoots. Gotta say, so far I'm liking it. I am gonna be later, I'm gonna bring all 3 guns out here and put a couple rounds through each, compare the belt recoil. But thus far, I'm enjoying the way this thing shoots. Time to go get some more bullets. All right, so I am back out here at 15. That was 34 rounds through the thing successfully so far. At this point, I'm going to zero my optic. So I guess I need to make it bright enough that I can actually see the dot. I got a target down there. I've got a bunch of dots on it. I'm going to try and zero this thing. I'm going to start at the lower right black dot and see where I'm at. All right, let me go take a look. I'm right where I want to be. That's at 15 yards. I'm a little bit close. I'm just going to put a couple rounds on this, see where it is. That was at about 6 yards. So, dot is zeroed. 68 rounds to the gun now, not a single malfunction. Currently have been shooting S&B 115 grain brass. I am going to try a couple other things. I got a bunch of different loads out here that I brought with me. I just talked about this a minute ago, but some idiot forgot to turn the camera on. Me, I do that a lot. All right, so the ammo I'm shooting currently, so I've put a bunch of S&B 115 grain brass case through this. Now I'm shooting 115 grain steel case Magtech. It's polished zinc plated steel case. I just put 34 rounds of that through it without an issue. And so I'm gonna be shooting some more of it. I do wanna mention one thing here. I forgot to mention this earlier as well. So this is the MC9L and LS mag. It's 17 rounds. This is a standard full-size Canik mag, holds 20 rounds. These mags work in this little gun. So that's another upside. Additional mags, I have not tried to find the 17s, but if you just need mags for the range, the 20 rounders fit perfect and they're nice and cheap. I think they're 39 bucks. So, back to shooting. Also, I do have this gun in a holster right now. It is not a holster designed for this gun. It is my Springfield Hellcat Pro holster. It doesn't fit properly. It's just good enough for me to drop this into. So, back to shooting. Pew, 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 pew. All right, first try with the full-size Canik mag. Appears to be working just fine. Locked open on empty. So full-size Canik mags work perfectly in this little guy too. Still at 15 yards. I've got a couple different loads here. So this is the full-size Canik mag. It is loaded with 124 grain CCI Blazer brass. I have one of the standard 17 round mags here. This one's loaded with 147 grain Winchester, like personal defense, I think is what they have. It's a white box, 147 grain personal defense, jacketed hollow point. I wouldn't recommend carrying it as personal defense ammo. There's much better ammo, but to test it. And then the last mag, which I have in here, is 124 grain Federal HST. Phenomenal carry ammo. So, back to shooting. 15 yards. So the first thing up here is going to be the 124 Blazer Brass. That functions fine. Let's go for the 147 Winchester. Definitely stouter recoil here. The 124 I didn't notice much. This is definitely hotter ammo, the 147 was. So last thing here is going to be the 124 grain Federal HST. Thus far, I'm well over 200 rounds, 0 malfunctions. So let's see how it does with my preferred carry ammo. Even though it's 124, this feels just as hot as that 147 Winchester did. So, I don't know exact round count. I'll try and count them all up and put that in here at the bottom of the screen with as a subtitle. But I can say 0 malfunctions. I'm over 200 rounds. It's shot 115 ball, 124 grain ball, 147 grain jacketed hollow points, 124 grain jacketed hollow points. It has not missed a beat. Very comfortable gun to shoot, especially with the lighter loads, which all handguns are more comfortable to shoot with lighter loads. But even with the hotter loads, oh, I forgot. I got to shoot this thing back to back with the other guns. So give me 1 second. I'm going to go load up some mags. I'm going to shoot it back to back with the Hellcat Pro and the Sig 365 just to kind of compare recoil. All 3 guns have got a loaded mag in them. They are not chambered. And the reason I did that is so I can bring them out here and set them in my pockets and not worry about somebody complaining about me being unsafe with guns. Pocket carry is a nightmare, and I've seen people do it with guns that don't even have trigger safeties, let alone manual safeties. Don't pocket carry, buy a friggin' holster. So, my contention here is because the Walther has a little bit more weight in the slide, that it's probably gonna be a more comfortable gun to shoot. That's just me doing the whole physics thing in my head. Don't know if that's gonna pan out. So I've got all 3 guns. I've got 6 rounds of that 115 grain steel case MagTech in it. I'm gonna shoot each gun until it's empty, and I'll move on to the next gun. So you'll be able to see from the side, potentially you might be able to notice the difference in muzzle flip. I'm gonna see if I can feel any difference in felt recoil. So here we go. Starting off with the Canik. I guess I should chamber the round. There's 6 rounds out of the Canik. What do I got here? Sig 365. I don't know, man. That's nice shooting. That did not feel as snappy as I seem to remember it. And last but not least, is Hellcat Pro. Hellcat Pro has always been a little bit snappy, but it's been a while since I shot it. I got to turn my optic up. There we go. So let's see. Yeah, definitely snappier. The Hellcat Pro is. The first 2, I don't know. Canik is pretty close to the Sig. I did forget to mention this when I was comparing all 3 guns. There's a significant price difference between the Canik and the other 2. Again, it's YouTube, social media. I cannot discuss pricing or they'll kill my videos. So look them up. The Canik Mete MC9LS, Sig P365 Xmacro, and the Hellcat Pro. P365 Xmacro, the standard one that's not comped, doesn't have the mag well, it's not one of the other options, just the base 365 Xmacro and the standard Hellcat Pro are priced, I think, within $5 of each other. The Mete MC9LS is about $150 less. So I'm not giving you pricing, I'm just telling you the price difference. How about that? See what YouTube does to me on that one. So this is going to the Canik. Let me pull it back out of the holster here. So this Canik here, I'm really enjoying. So this is going to be an intro video. I'm going to carry this thing and for a little while here, and I'm going to put some more rounds through it, and then I'm going to come back later with a follow-up video. But thus far, I'm probably pretty close to 300 rounds to this thing. 0 malfunctions, very enjoyable to shoot. I can't find a fault with this gun yet, unless of course you hate turkey and don't want to buy a Turkish gun. So let's wrap it up. So far, big thumbs up on the Canik Mete MC9LS from Matt.